Today I thought I'd make a quick video about the very interesting beginnings of the world-renowned Bendigo goldfield. The Bendigo Diggings began in 1851, born out of the famed Mount Alexander diggings, though at an unfortunate time of year when water was scarce and the ground dry and hard. Despite this early difficulty, many continued to work these diggings steadily and profitably throughout the summer months. Soon enough, the rains saw Bendigo leap into madness, with thousands rushing to its rich, newly discovered gullies. The alluvial areas on this beautiful old geological map show Bendigo's rich creeks and gullies, where all the excitement began. In March of 1852, it was reported that there were a very unusual amount of departures from the incredibly rich Forest Creek diggings over at Mount Alexander. Most were headed for the Bendigo Creek, where reports were so incredible that many were gladly leaving both their holes and washdirt behind at Forest Creek. Golden Gully was soon opened up completely, with no room for new chums anywhere along the line of the best claims. In April 1852, the Bendigo Diggings were described in the Argus as being one of the most delightful spots the writer had ever come across, but it lacked the absolute necessity of water. By the end of April, the Argus stated that nearly all the ranges about Bendigo had proved to be highly rich, and numerous surface diggings had been discovered within a mile or two of the creek, none of which would be available until the creek started running. But even without water, Bendigo miners were soon resorting to a sort of dry digging to ensure they made their tucker. The following description was published in the Argus in April of 1852. Never have I been more startled with instances of success than I have been at Bendigo. It is by no means rare there to see a man setting off to work in his hole, the only tool or implement he carries with him being a large and pointed knife, known in diggers' parlance as a fossicking knife. The mode of proceeding is by no means uninteresting. Arrived at the hole, which, by the way, may have taken him and his mates a week or more to sink, he descends, and lighting a candle and his pipe, he lays himself out at full length on the rock which forms the bottom of his hole, and whilst he blows out the fragrant wreaths from his dudeen, he quietly amuses himself at the same time by digging out with the point of his knife such nuggets of the precious metal as may offer themselves to his view. Of course, in this operation, the small specks of gold are not collected, as this would be too troublesome a process, but the earth containing them is gathered up in a pocket handkerchief, and I have more than once seen 2 ounces washed out from a handkerchief full of stuff, whence the large pieces had been previously picked. By this fossicking, as it is termed, men have been known to obtain 3 and 4 pounds weight of gold in a day, though such cases are not, as a matter of course, numerous. This species of dry digging is now much resorted to, not only on the Bendigo, but on the Forest and other creeks, the scarcity of water preventing the possibility of washing all the earth that would, were this element plentiful, amply repay the labour. When the wet weather finally set in, along with the rain there was a mighty gale which carried away tents, uprooted trees and scattered the fires. But with this came the much anticipated return of water in the creeks. As the wet season set in, the rush to Bendigo's diggings was so extraordinary that it drew the diggers away from Forest Creek in the same dramatic manner that Forest Creek had depopulated Ballarat 6 months earlier. But as golden as Bendigo's alluvial diggings were, it was nothing compared to the mind-blowing wealth that was later extracted from the area's rich and abundant quartz veins. This map shows many lines of reef which travel through the town, including the famous Deborah, Nell Gwyn and Hustler's reefs. If you visit Bendigo today, you can see a very rare site which has survived from the old quartz mining days, a series of poppet heads marking out a line of reef. These poppet heads stand along the Deborah line of reef, including the central Deborah mine, where you can take guided underground mine tours. The beautiful geological map of the Bendigo goldfield, which I used in this video, is available as a huge high-quality print in my online store, historicalgoldmaps.com.au. I have a series of incredible historical gold maps for sale, which have each been professionally restored, enhanced and styled as a matching set. I'll put a link in the description below along with a discount for you guys. Thanks for watching this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Goldfield's Guide, and don't forget to turn on notifications.